Thanks for stopping by. One of the best accessories you can make for your portable table saw is a cabinet for it. I'm just going to be using basic construction techniques and some pocket screws. Let's get to it. Like I said, this construction is going to be very basic. I'm going to have a sheet of plywood at the bottom and the top of this cabinet, and these are the wheels that I'm going to use. So this represents the height of those three things, and now I'm going to measure for the height of the sides of the cabinet. So I'm just going to put a piece of wood here to represent the floor and just measure from where the saw mounts, and that will give me the height of my side panels. These are the swivel casters I'm going to use at the bottom of my cabinet. They're great. They spin around. They have a wheel. So they make it very movable. And it also has this orange star here that as you turn this foot goes up and down. You can use it to level it out on an uneven surface like a garage, or to match up with the height of other cabinets. So these things are great. I'll put a link in the description below where I got these from. One of the best tools I bought was this Kreg Pro jig. I used to use the Kreg pocket hole jig that you clamp and drill one hole at a time. It worked, but it took a lot longer than this thing. I mean, just look how fast I'm blowing through these panels and these drawer boxes. You just keep drilling, you hook your vacuum up to it, you don't have any mess at all. Well, I mean, maybe a couple of specks here and there, but this thing makes your work go so much faster, so much more efficient. And you know what? You deserve it. You should get yourself one. I think they carry them at all the big hardware stores, or I'll put a link down below where you can pick one up. This thing is simply awesome. And when you're done with it, you just unclamp it from your bench, fold it up, and stick it in the cabinet. Nice and neat and tidy. So here you can see this jig I made to put cabinets together when using pocket screws. I know the joints are stronger with the screws coming from the outside, but I don't want to see them. So what this jig does is it stops the panels from sliding past each other. You have a little wall in the back that'll keep the panel from sliding out as you're putting the screws in. It's really handy. I have a video for it if you want to click up top and check it out. I can't really come up with a better way to clamp up the drawers for screwing them together other than this, putting a block of wood behind it because the screws are coming in from the outside. So if you have a better idea or you've seen a video or something, put it in the comments down below because this is really frustrating. Probably noticed I didn't show routing a groove for the drawer bottoms. I've never had a problem with just gluing and stapling the drawer bottoms on. Never had one fall off, so that's what I do. Putting in your drawer slides is pretty easy. Just put some scrap pieces of 1/4-inch plywood on either side and use those to set the height for your drawer slides in your cabinet. and you want to install them so they're flush with the front of the cabinet or just slightly behind it. Pull out the mechanism and throw a couple of screws in. Then you can use those same pieces of plywood to set your drawer box. And that'll give you plenty of clearance. Then you pull the drawer slides out so they're flush with the front of the box and start screwing them in. And then do the other side. And then you can pull the drawer out until you can get to the next screw. Pull your plywood strips out and your drawer should be nice and smooth. To set the next drawer, I use 1.25" spacers. And the reason why I use that is because my drawer fronts are 1 inch higher than my boxes. So this will give me just enough space for my drawer fronts and everything should work fine. Put your slides on top of your 1.25" spacers and screw them in. And you just use those same spacers to set your drawer box. There's a lot of different tricks you can use to set your drawer fronts, but I just use 1/8 inch drill bits. Just set them on the bottom of the cabinet. Put the drawer front in place, clamp it, and put some screws in it. I mismeasured something, but that's okay. I'll just use 1/4 inch. It's a little bit of a bigger gap, but I think it'll be all right. Good news is, cabinet's done. Bad news is, I screwed up my measurements big time. When I was showing you earlier how to measure the height of the table saw, including the top and the bottom of the cabinet and the wheels, I wrote that number down, got distracted. I forgot to subtract that number from my desired height, and when I started cutting the parts for the cabinet, I just used the number I wrote down, so the cabinet's too short, and not by a little bit. What would you do in this situation? Scrap the whole cabinet? I'm not going to do that. I'll just make some kind of spacer blocks and go from there. And to keep all my cabinets together, I found these nifty little clasps. Pulls them nice and tight.